You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You are kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You are never backing down, backing down, backing down. That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush when I'm with you.
I thought I broke a U-joint. It's not a U-joint. I broke 2 of my upper control arm brackets on my long arm kit on the front, on the axle side. And it literally happened while I was climbing an obstacle after we had just done a bunch of really sketchy obstacles. And good thing I stopped when I did, because if I'd kept going, my axle would have rolled back or forward, and then my suspension, like my shocks and my coils, all would have just like blown out, and my axle would just be hanging in the dirt somewhere, which is not good, because how heavy do you think that front axle is?
Probably 700 pounds.
Yeah, wouldn't be a good day. So we met these really nice guys who happen to have a stick welder on board, and they welded my control arm brackets back on to the arms. Doesn't look like it was broken, like fatigued for a while.
Yeah. I want to hammer that back.
I know. In between then, TerraFlex apparently redesigned everything. So these are super heavy duty cast control arm brackets, and you'll see when we take off the other ones, the quality difference, like there's zero comparison.
How fast did they get those to you?
Oh yeah, and TerraFlex, being as awesome as they are to me, texted Joe from TerraFlex and said, hey, this is the problem, and I got them the next day. So shout out to TerraFlex, thanks for taking care of us. I feel like the improvising and the trying to make it work in the driveway or on the ground in the garage, the amount of time that we waste MacGyvering everything, I feel like we would build twice the cars. And even just like having the space, because it's like we're moving things, we have to move toolboxes and welders, and just it eats up so much of our time. So hopefully at some point we'll have a bigger space to work in, but right now it's just going to take twice as long, I guess. So hopefully you still hang out. My plan today, we have a long list. The goal is to replace my TerraFlex brackets for my upper control arms that I managed to rip off the Jeep. First person ever to do that, apparently. So gold star for me. We have the TMR alignment bars that we're finally going to use, because when you do your control arms, anytime you mess with that, you should go get an alignment or align it yourself. TMR brackets are a great way to do that at your own house. A real alignment from a shop with lasers and all that is always the best, but we send it in this thing so much that it's kind of a waste of money for us to do one very often, so this is going to be a great way to tie it over.
So we're just putting the bungee cord around the steering wheel, so hopefully it doesn't move. While we're adjusting the tie rod in. Go off-road, the steering wheel is never straight again, so we're going to try to straighten the steering wheel.
And also, if your steering wheel is like 30 or 40 degrees off on the JL, it will go into limp mode eventually. If you're on a highway, that's not a good situation.
And some of the cars, if the steering wheel is too far off, you'll actually keep trying to activate the traction control module.
Oh yeah.
And lock up different tires at different times while you're going straight.
Yeah.
It's confused, doesn't know how to fix the problem that's going on.
But if you have a 1-ton diesel JL like myself and you have modified everything on it, it doesn't know what it's doing because none of the sensors can talk to each other. But for an average person, that is not good.
It is not.
I need the 19.
Is it 19 or 18?
I thought it was 19. I had the 19 in my Jeep. Maybe it is. Let me see. Oh, no, this one is. So the lowers are bigger. I need a, let's see, that will work. I'm gonna be able to get this undone because it's Joe tight. I may need your help. There's tight and then there's Joe tight. And that's my face. All right. Joe is my professional bolt tightener. Every Jeep that Joe is fixed during like Trail Hero and stuff, whenever people come over and we fix their stuff, they take like 2 people and breaker bars and stuff to get stuff off when they get home. Sorry, Jason and Victor. Almost.
Yeah, it's just that this bracket's so deformed that it won't slide out.
You want to get started on the other side and I'll do this? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. This is why I don't go to the gym. I work on cars. Do you measure your lifts, Joe? Like your heaviest lift in like foot pounds or
Inch pounds? Makes me seem stronger.
It's just the threads that never end, which isn't a bad thing.
Oh, I think we before just did it to the dirty spot.
That's a good unit of measurement. It's very scientifically exact.
Well, we were taking the same ones in and out.
Yeah, I know. Why aren't you coming out? It's weird. Doesn't want to come out. Can you pull on it?
Yeah, it's just not threaded all the way out yet.
Oh, there we go. Well, it was spinning for a while. Okay. So, can you give me the other one?
Yep.
So this is the one that we broke. Nice little trail fix. She's pretty warped, but in comparison, like TMRCUSTOMS did a good job. And where we broke it, it tore right out of here. So this is all one piece now. So great upgrade. All right. Are you getting some grease, Joe?
Yeah.
Thanks. And always grease your threads.
What was that?
I said always grease your threads. Helps with oxidization.
On most things, it's super greasy, so.
Okay.
Do you need to put it above the axle before you thread it in?
Yes. Thanks, Joe.
Anytime.
You're so helpful. I have dropped things, punched myself in the face. Actually, I think I punched myself in the face. Didn't I do that last week? Pretty sure I did. And I had a big mark on my face. Yeah, my mom always has said my entire life that I need to be put into a rubber room because I'm really good at hurting myself or having weird things happen to me. It's a good hand workout. I feel like my thumbs are going to be jacked after this.
But there's no muscles in your hand.
What's this? My
It's your
palm?
forearm.
That's
Oh.
my forearm? It's like my
Sorry.
outer palm.
I meant your fingers.
Oh. Well, they're gonna be huge. I can feel it. Hopefully it's not too much.
Hopefully there wasn't a left and a right.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. That looks pretty good. Boom. Better than the other.
Okay, you want to tighten that one and I'll get this one out?
So do you think this is going to give me better drive quality?
No, it's still a Jeep thing.
You're just jealous that your Toyota doesn't have cast control arm brackets. Come on, dude.
Here. Oh, no. You don't need to take it all the way out.
Yeah, I just need to do the other one. Boom. Oh, you trying to burn me? My oil paint's hot. Are you gonna help with that one?
Yeah.
You're the best. Teamwork makes the dream work. Joe has obviously better forearms than me.
That's because I do more pull-ups than you.
That's Joe's judge of vitality, if you didn't know. How many pull-ups or push-ups one can do. If it's none or one, he's gonna say you should work on that.
You should.
When Joe broke his leg, he was on like bed rest, and he literally like would get up from the couch, I think, to like get a drink of water. No, he'd go over and do pull-ups. That was the longest Joe ever stayed in one place. The month he had to be on the couch.
You really only want to change one at a time because there's a chance the axle could rotate. You take both off at the same time.
And that's what we were worried about when I broke, because I was on rocks going up and I came down, and when I came back, I'm super lucky that one of the other arms didn't go, because it seems like one went because it had been fatigued. There was a lot of rust in here, and so that to me looked like it had been fatigued for some time, and the other one was like super fresh. So I think the other one went because that one had gone, and the fact that another one didn't go, like, we were super lucky. Basically, when I realized what had happened, I just stopped and we did one arm at a time and just tried to not risk it to roll and have it to break my shocks. The drive line, if it went forward, it would have broken that, and just would have been a lot of things broken that we don't want to break, because, you know, the E-Click shocks, I love them, but they're like $5,000. And we don't want to spend money on things that we don't have to.
Yeah, so see if you see that's a little bit higher than that end. And so the tension is trying to roll the axle back. So if you do both of these, it's not very likely, but you could have all the weight pushed down on the axle, and the axle could actually spin, or it could go forward. Then you have to jack up the vehicle and try to get everything. But there's a lot of energy, potential energy stored there. So you want to keep it as just do one side at a time so it doesn't release that energy, either forward or back. It's all good to go. Everything's tightened up. Now we're ready to set the toe.
All right.
Probably block the tires both sides. Need to jack up the front end.
Make sure you have your parking brake on.
Get the tires off. Try to put it on the jack stands and get it as low as possible on the jack stands. You want to do it?
Sure. It's my favorite workout. 40-inch tires. Okay. So these are TMR Customs alignment bars, and this is a way to do a DIY toe alignment at the privacy of your own very private driveway like ours. They're not only awesome in terms of products, but they're great people. They're our favorite Canadians. We met them at the King of Hammers at the rookie weekend this past year and had a heck of a time sending it with them, and they've got a really great race program and they make awesome parts. We're excited to be working with them and really excited to not have to travel somewhere and make an appointment and spend $150 aligning the front end of my vehicle. So we're going to teach you how to do the same thing. So you can see right here, we have space next to it, and this lug bolt doesn't totally fill out the hole, not that it should. So a good way to help it seat is to put washers over it. That way you can tighten it down and it doesn't move. After you take your wheels off, get your spacer, bolt these bars on, you wanna make sure it's level and even. So I'm gonna put this little level here. I'd say that's pretty money. All right, so go check the other side. She's not. Oh yeah, money. Okay.
Now go check the other one.
Again?
Yeah, because it's connected, so it shouldn't spin, but
it could. See, that's why we pay Joe the big bucks, because he's wicked smart. Still good. Great success?
Great success.
Okay. So you're gonna put one tape measure through here and then one tape measure through here. Now let's see if we can. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're at 77.5.
And that one's 77 and basically a half.
No adjustments needed?
I don't know if we could maybe bring it in a little bit to give you a little bit more toe.
Okay. So
you're towed in ever so slightly, then when you drive, it'll toe out a little bit from the pressure of the back tires pushing the front. Rear wheel drive cars, you toe in a little bit, so when you drive, they toe out, and front wheel drive cars try to toe in, so you do them a little bit out.
Because it's pulling on the front, so it's pulling it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want it towed in, the front of the tires to go in a little bit.
Because when I'm driving on the road, and like we don't drive on the road in 4-wheel drive, and I'm not all-wheel drive all the time, my tires naturally go out. So if it's already out before you start going, it's going to make it out even more, and then it's going to cause a wobble, which is not good. And it also causes it to like wear unevenly. There's like guidelines, if you want to look it up online, based off of how close our measurements were already when we first started. You want to be kind of close to what you are on the backside, unless it's like a really big gap out of the gate. Like for us, we were what, 77? Ish front and rear, so we knew that we were pretty even at that point. And you can really get into it, and there's like lasers and there's dials and stuff to like do degrees, but for the sake of this video, we're just going off of the measurements of the bars, and because we started pretty okay, we're only going to adjust off of that.
If you read How to Keep Your Volkswagen Alive, it says get 2 broomsticks, put them up, and do the front of it just a little bit less than the rear. If you have a Volkswagen, that's the best book to look at. How to Keep Your Volkswagen Alive.
Okay. So what were you at?
We were just less than 77.5.
So 77.5, the half is in the center of the bar. A little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely in because it was 1, 2. Yeah, it was on the outside of here,
okay.
The back side. So that's good. Anytime after, this is a little pro tip, anytime after you adjust any sort of nuts, bolts, etc., I recommend having a paint pen in a snazzy color like this. Yellow works great too. White works. It's just a little harder to see sometimes. You could do red, some shops do blue. This matches the race car, so that's why I got this color. So what you're gonna do is, I'm gonna take this line here and I'm gonna mark it. And basically, you can just do a quick visual. Like if my steering feels a little funny, I can just look at this and be like, oh, look at that. That line is over here now when it was right here. So it's a great visual to be able to do like a quick once over. We're gonna mark this side and then Joe can do the other side. And then I'm gonna mark the other stuff that we just did. It's not like super precise, obviously. I mean, you could get super precise, but it's just a nice visual. And then we'll mark all these little Allens that we tightened down. You're gonna wanna do that on everything that we just adjusted. That way we have that visual inspection. It's a great thing to do, I think, especially if you don't wanna put a wrench on every bolt every time before you go wheeling. It's just a good time saver. And it's also another good way to realize, did I tighten everything that I just installed? Because bolts, I mean, we get busy, especially on long projects. Did I tighten and put in all the hardware correctly and as tight as it needs to be? It's a great visual, like, yes, I already torqued that, I checked that, it's right. Move on to what's next. Now that we have everything put back together, we torqued our lug nuts to the factory specification for our axles. Make sure you do that step yourself with a torque wrench. If you don't know what it is and you have a stock Jeep, do whatever your manual says. If it's an aftermarket axle, torque it to whatever specs the manufacturer recommends. Thank you, TMR, for making an awesome and easy to use product. Make sure you check them out online. It's TMR Customs. Get your own alignment bars. They have great things like weld-on tabs, suspension parts, tons of builder parts, chassis, you name it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so you know when we put out our next video and you get more of us. Stay safe and send it.